Hey there. Have you ever had one of those days where you feel a little off, like your head's foggy, or your energy just isn't what it used to be? Maybe you've noticed your heart racing a bit more than usual, or you've caught yourself worrying about that number on the blood pressure monitor. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. High blood pressure sneaks up on so many of us as we get older, and it can feel like a big, scary thing to tackle. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. I'm so glad you're here with me today because we're going to talk about some simple, down-to-earth ways to manage high blood pressure, ways that fit right into your life and help you feel stronger, calmer, and more in control. You see, keeping your blood pressure in check isn't just about avoiding trouble down the road, though that's a big part of it. It's about feeling good right now, today. When those numbers are where they should be, you've got more energy to enjoy the things you love, whether that's playing with the grandkids, tending to your garden, or just sitting back with a good book. For us folks over 60, it's one of those keys to staying independent and living life on our terms. And the best part? You don't need to turn your world upside down to make it happen. I'm here to share 5 practical tips that can help you ease that pressure naturally, and they're things you can start doing today. In this video, we're going to walk through these 5 habits together, little steps that add up to a big difference. They're not about strict rules or fancy gadgets. They're about working with your body, not against it, so you can feel your best. So, let's jump right in and talk about the first thing you can do to take charge of your blood pressure. One of the easiest places to start is with what's on your plate. I know food can feel like a tricky topic. Maybe you've heard a million different things about what you should or shouldn't eat. But this isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about making some smart swaps that your heart will thank you for. Take salt, for instance. It's in so much of what we eat, those canned soups, the chips we sneak from the bag, even that slice of bread. And while a little salt is fine, too much can push your blood pressure up faster than you'd think. My neighbor Betty, who's 67, used to sprinkle salt on everything without even tasting it first. Her doctor told her those numbers were creeping up, so she started cutting back. She switched to herbs like rosemary and garlic powder for flavor, and she says her meals taste even better now. Plus, her blood pressure's been steadier than it's been in years. You don't have to go cold turkey, just try tasting your food before you reach for the shaker, or rinse off canned veggies to wash away some of that extra salt. And if you're cooking, fresh stuff like tomatoes or spinach can bring so much flavor without needing a thing added. It's like giving your taste buds a little adventure while keeping your pressure in line. Small changes like that can feel so doable, and they really start to add up. Another habit that goes hand in hand with this is staying hydrated. I know it sounds simple, drink more water, but it's one of those things we sometimes forget as we get busy. When you're not getting enough fluids, your body holds onto sodium, and that can nudge your blood pressure higher. I've got a friend, George, who's 71, and he used to sip coffee all day and barely touch water. He'd get these headaches, and his pressure was all over the place. One day, he started carrying a little bottle around, just filling it up a few times, and he noticed he felt lighter, less sluggish. Water helps your blood flow smoother, and it's like a gentle flush for your system. You don't need to chug gallons, aim for a glass with meals or a sip here and there. If plain water's not your favorite, toss in a slice of lemon or cucumber for a little zing. And while we're talking about what you're taking in, let's think about moving around a bit too. I'm not saying you need to hit the gym or start jogging, unless that's your thing, of course. But a little motion every day can do wonders for your blood pressure. It's like giving your heart a chance to stretch its legs. My cousin Ed, who's 64, started walking to the mailbox and back every morning, just 5 minutes. He'd been on the couch a lot after retiring, and his pressure was climbing. Those little walks turned into a loop around the block, and now he's down a few points on that monitor without even breaking a sweat. Something as simple as swaying to music while you cook or stretching during a TV commercial can get your blood flowing and ease that tension in your arteries. So, with a few tweaks to your meals, a little more water, and some gentle movement, you're already building a solid foundation. And that sets us up perfectly to talk about something else that can make a huge difference: how you handle the stress that comes with everyday life. Alright, so we've got a great start with tweaking what's on your plate, sipping more water, and adding a bit of movement to your day. Those little habits are like quiet helpers, working behind the scenes to keep your blood pressure in a happier place. But now, let's talk about something that can sneak up on all of us: stress. You know how it feels when the phone won't stop ringing, or you're worrying about a bill, or maybe the grandkids are running circles around the house? Your heart starts pounding, and before you know it, that pressure's climbing again. Life doesn't stop throwing curveballs just because we're over 60, but we can get better at catching them without letting them throw us off balance. One of the best ways to ease that stress is to give yourself a moment to breathe, really breathe. I'm not talking about anything fancy or complicated. Just a few slow, deep breaths can calm your nerves and bring your blood pressure down a notch. My friend Doris, who's 69, used to get so worked up when her daughter called with a new problem to solve. She'd feel her chest tighten and her head start to throb. One day, I showed her this trick: sit down, close your eyes if you want, and take a big breath in through your nose, like you're smelling a flower, then let it out slow through your mouth, like you're blowing out a candle. She does it for a minute or two now whenever she feels that tension creeping in, and she swears it's like hitting a reset button. It's not about fixing everything, it's about giving your body a break from the storm. And if you've got a little more time, something like a short stretch or a quiet sit can work wonders too. I know a guy, Frank, who's 72, and he started doing this thing where he'd step outside for 5 minutes when the day got heavy. He'd just look at the trees or listen to the birds, nothing big, but it was enough to shake off that tightness. Stress pushes your blood pressure up because it's like your body's getting ready to fight or run, even if it's just a traffic jam or a long line at the store. So, finding your own way to step back, whether it's breathing deep, stretching out, or even humming a tune, can tell your system, hey, we're okay here. It's like a little hug you give yourself, and it doesn't cost a thing. Now, while we're on the topic of calming down, let's think about how you're winding down at the end of the day, because sleep plays a bigger role in this than you might realize. When you're not resting well, your body stays on edge, and that can keep your blood pressure higher than it needs to be. I used to know a lady, Margaret, who's 66, and she'd stay up late watching those crime shows, you know, the ones that get your heart racing. She'd toss and turn all night, and her morning readings were always up. So, she started turning off the TV an hour before bed, swapping it for a cup of chamomile tea and some soft music. It wasn't instant, but after a week or two, she noticed she was sleeping deeper, and her numbers started looking better too. You don't have to overhaul your whole night, but easing into sleep can make a difference. Maybe it's dimming the lights a bit earlier or reading something light instead of scrolling through your phone. Those bright screens can trick your brain into staying awake, and that's the last thing we want when we're trying to keep things steady. Even keeping your bedtime roughly the same each night helps your body settle into a rhythm. It's like training it to know when to relax, and that relaxation carries over to your blood pressure. Margaret says she feels like she's cheating the system now: better sleep and better numbers, all from a few small changes. So, with stress in check and sleep working for you, you're building on that foundation we started with. And that brings us to something else that ties it all together: how a little connection with the people around you can lift your spirits and lighten the load on your heart. So, we've been building this toolbox together, easing stress with a few deep breaths, setting yourself up for better sleep, and layering that onto the food, water, and movement we talked about earlier. It's amazing how these little pieces fit together, isn't it? But there's one more habit I want to share that can really round things out, and it's something that doesn't get enough credit when it comes to managing blood pressure. It's about the people in your life, the ones who make you laugh, listen when you need to vent, or just sit quietly with you over a cup of coffee. Staying connected might not sound like a health tip, but trust me, it can do wonders for your heart, both inside and out. You know how good it feels when you share a story with a friend and they get it, or when your grandkid gives you that big, sloppy hug? That warmth isn't just in your imagination. When we spend time with people we care about, our bodies actually relax a little. It's like a natural pressure valve. My buddy Sam, who's 70, used to keep to himself a lot after he retired. He'd sit at home, stewing over little things, and his blood pressure was stubborn as a mule. Then he started joining this card game at the community center once a week. Nothing fancy, just some laughs, a few bad jokes, and a chance to catch up. He told me he didn't realize how much he'd missed that until he felt his shoulders drop and his readings start to ease up. It's not about having a packed social calendar, it's about those moments that remind you you're not alone. And if getting out isn't always easy, even a phone call can lift you up. I've got a friend, Ruth, who's 68, and she started calling her sister every Sunday just to chat. They'd talk about nothing special, old recipes, the weather, whatever, but Ruth says it's like a weight off her chest every time. Loneliness can creep in as we get older, and it's sneaky, it can tighten you up and push those numbers higher without you even noticing. So, reaching out, even in small ways, is like giving your heart a break. Maybe it's a neighbor you wave to, a family member you text, or just petting that dog who's always happy to see you. It all counts. Now, while we're talking about feeling good, let's tie this into something practical you can do every day, keeping an eye on those numbers yourself. I know the blood pressure cuff can feel like a nag sometimes, but it's really your friend. Checking it at home lets you see how all these habits are working for you. My cousin Linda, who's 65, used to only get her pressure checked at the doctor's office, and it was always high. Turns out she was nervous just being there. She got a simple monitor for home, and now she checks it in the morning, nice and relaxed. She's learned what keeps her steady, like when she skips the salty snacks or takes that walk, and it's empowering to see it for herself. You don't need to obsess over it, just once or twice a week can give you a picture of what's helping. When you do it, sit down, rest for a few minutes first, and keep your arm at heart level. Little things like that make it accurate. And if you're jotting it down to show your doctor, even better. It's not about perfection, it's about knowing your own rhythm. Linda says it's like being the boss of her own health, and that confidence? That's gold for keeping stress down too. So, here we are, with a handful of habits that weave together so naturally: eating smarter, moving a little, breathing through the tough moments, sleeping well, connecting with folks, and checking in on yourself. It's not about doing everything at once, it's about picking what feels right for you and letting it grow. You're not just managing blood pressure, you're giving yourself more good days, more energy, more you. I'd love to hear what you think about all this. Drop a comment below and tell me what's worked for you, or maybe what you're going to try. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips coming your way. Here's to feeling great and living life to the fullest, no matter how many candles are on the cake.